Forget what you've been told about just waiting for blessings. A private waits for orders, a general issues them. We need to have a very honest conversation right now. You know you are chosen. You felt the shift in your spirit we discussed before. You know deep down that you are not a sleeper and that you carry a heavy rank in the celestial hierarchy. But let's look at your reality today. The pressure is still there. The financial blockades are still up. You are holding the title, but you aren't seeing the territory. You are frustrated because you have the rank, but you lack the access. You are standing outside a massive locked gate with the wrong key in your hand. For years, you have been trying to open the gate of blessing with the key of sympathy. You have been knocking on the door of the divine, showing your scars, explaining your trauma, and hoping the universe will feel sorry enough for you to open up. But here is the brutal truth. Ancient gates do not respond to tears. They do not respond to begging. They respond to authority. The spiritual realm is a military operation. A general does not beg for supplies. They authorize them. You have been stuck outside because you are still praying like a civilian in a war zone. Your new rank is not just a badge to wear. It is a clearance code to use. Today, we are done with theory. We are moving from identity to utility. I'm going to show you exactly which gate is blocking your family and how to use your rank to cut the lock. The waiting room is closed. If you are done waiting in the hallway and ready to enter the throne room, command your presence in the comments right now. Don't just think it. Right, I am entering to signal that you are ready for the breach. Before we unlock this rank, I need you to ground yourself. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. The algorithm didn't bring you here, your destiny did. But you know how the dark forces work. They love to distract you the moment you get close to the truth. Don't let this connection break. Press subscribe right now to secure your signal. Do not risk missing the very instruction that was sent to save you just because you forgot to lock in your connection. The key is sympathy. We need to look at exactly why your prayers haven't been working the way you think they should. You have been going into your quiet space, getting on your knees and pouring your heart out. You tell the divine how much it hurts. You explain the debt that is keeping you up at night. You talk about the people who betrayed you. You cry until you have no tears left, and you leave that room feeling exhausted. You think to yourself, surely heaven saw that. Surely because I showed so much pain, the help is coming. Then 3 weeks pass. Nothing changes. The bank account is still negative. The loneliness is still there. You start thinking, maybe I didn't cry enough? Maybe I didn't explain it clearly enough? No, that is the trap. You are trying to unlock a massive spiritual gate using the key of sympathy. You are operating under the belief that if you show the universe how wounded you are, it will take pity on you and give you what you need. That is the civilian mindset. In the regular world, if a person is hungry and sits on the street corner begging, someone might stop and give them $1 out of pity. That works for sleepers. That works for civilians who have no rank and no authority. But you are not a civilian anymore. We established your new rank, and in a military hierarchy, the rules are completely different. Imagine a 4-star general sitting in the dirt outside the mess hall, crying and begging a private for a loaf of bread. It would be ridiculous. It would be a disgrace to the uniform. A general does not beg for supplies. A general does not try to make the logistics officer feel sorry for him. If a general needs resources, he pulls out a requisition form. He writes down exactly what is needed. He signs his name at the bottom. He hands it to the officer in charge. The officer does not look at the general and ask, "Are you sad? Did you have a hard day?" No, the officer looks at the rank on the collar, looks at the signature on the paper, and immediately releases the shipment. It isn't about emotion. It is about protocol. You have been stuck outside your blessing because you are standing there crying when you should be signing. You need to understand the nature of the beings you are dealing with. We often think of angels as these soft, emotional creatures. That is not accurate. Angels are soldiers. They are described as the host of heaven. That means an army. They are beings of absolute order and discipline. They do not respond to your tears. They respond to your rank. When you cry, they see a human in pain, and they might offer you comfort. But when you command, they see a superior officer, and they get to work. You have been asking for permission to enter a house that you already own. You have been saying, "Please, Can I catch a break? When you should be saying, I am authorizing the release of these funds for my mission. The shift happens right now. You must stop trying to manipulate the spiritual realm with your sadness. The key of sympathy does not fit the lock on an ancient gate. It never will. You have to drop the victim mentality to pick up the authority. You are done asking. You are now issuing orders. Portals vs. gates. Understanding the infrastructure. Now that you have stopped begging and started standing in your rank, you need to understand the terrain you are operating in. Most spiritual people spend their entire lives confused because they do not know the difference between a portal and a gate. They use the words interchangeably, but they are completely different. A portal is temporary. It is a brief opening in the spirit realm. Think about a time when you had a sudden burst of good luck. Maybe you found an unexpected check in the mail, or you met someone who helped you out of a jam, or you had 3 days of perfect peace. You thought, finally, my life is changing. But then, a week later, the portal closed. The money ran out. The peace evaporated. You were back to square one. That was a portal. It is a glitch in the matrix. It is a window that slides open for a moment and then slams shut. You can slip through a portal, but you cannot build a life on it. Portals are for survival. They are not for dominion. A gate is different. A gate is structural. It is permanent. An ancient gate is a massive spiritual choke point that controls the flow of blessings into a specific bloodline. These gates are not new. They have been standing for generations. Look at your family history. I want you to really look at it. Was your grandfather always working hard but never having enough money? Did your father face the exact same cycle of debt and stress? And now, look at your life. Are you fighting the exact same financial battles they fought? That is not a coincidence. That is not bad luck. That is a sealed ancient gate. The enemy established a blockade on your bloodline decades ago. They locked the gate of provision, or the gate of peace, to ensure that no one with your last name would ever rise above a certain level. When you try to get ahead, you aren't just fighting your current circumstances. You are slamming your shoulder against a heavy iron door that has been rusted shut for 50 years. This is why positive thinking hasn't worked for you. You cannot manifest your way through a locked iron gate. You cannot wish it open. Portals are for people who want a lucky break. Gates are for people who want to change their last name's legacy forever. When you open a gate, it stays open. It doesn't just bless you. It blesses your children and your children's children. It changes the infrastructure of your family's reality. This is where your new rank comes in. We talked about your new name, that is your spiritual ID card. It identifies who you are, but an ID card doesn't cut through chains. Your new rank is the bolt cutter. It is the heavy machinery required to snap the lock that held your grandfather back. You have been chasing portals, hoping for a lucky break to escape your problems. Stop chasing the window. We are going for the front door. We are going to use your rank to dismantle the blockade so that when the blessing comes, it doesn't just trickle in for a moment. It floods in and stays. The first gate, the gate of provision. We are walking up to the first heavy iron gate blocking your path. It is the gate of provision. Let's be real about your finances for a second. I'm not talking about whether you are rich or poor. I'm talking about the scarcity loop. You know exactly what this feels like. It happens like clockwork. You finally get a little bit ahead. Maybe a tax refund comes in, or you get a bonus at work. You take a deep breath and think, okay, I can finally save something. And then, within 48 hours, something breaks. Your car transmission fails. A pipe bursts in your house. You get a medical bill you didn't expect. And miraculously, the cost of the emergency is almost the exact same amount as the money you just received. You look at your bank account and think, I am cursed. You think you are just bad with money, or that the universe wants you to be humble. That is a lie. That is not bad luck. That is a tactical military strike on your supply line. In warfare, if you want to stop an invading army, you don't just shoot at the soldiers. You blow up the bridge behind them. You bomb their supply trucks. You cut off their fuel. The enemy knows that if a tank runs out of gas, it doesn't matter how powerful the cannon is. It is just a useless pile of metal sitting in the desert. You are the tank. You have this incredible spiritual power, this new rank we talked about. But the dark forces have been attacking your finances to disarm you. They know that if you are up all night stressed about how to pay the electric bill, you cannot focus on your spiritual mission. If you are drowning in survival mode, you cannot help anyone else. They aren't trying to make you poor just to be mean. They are trying to keep you ineffective. This is why your prayers need to change today. Most chosen ones pray from a place of panic. They say, "God, please, I just need enough to survive the month. Please help me pay this rent." That is a civilian prayer. That is begging for scraps. A general does not ask for enough to survive. A general demands the resources necessary to win the war. You need to walk up to the gate of provision and change your language. You aren't asking for money for luxury. You are demanding money for logistics. There is a difference. Luxury is buying a gold watch to show off. Logistics is having a reliable car so you can get to where you need to be. Logistics is having a safe home so your spirit can rest and recharge for the battle. The universe has no problem funding your mission, but it will not fund your fear. Stop praying, "Help me get by." Start declaring, "Universe, I require these resources to execute my assignment." When you frame your financial need as a military necessity, the gate of provision unlocks. The supply line opens up. The money stops coming in and going right back out to emergencies, and it starts building the foundation you need to actually lead. Open the gate. Your mission is too important to be underfunded. The synced gate. The gate of influence. We have secured the supply line. Now we need to talk about the command center. This is the second gate, the gate of influence. This is the one that hurts the most on a personal level. For years, you have felt like a ghost in your own life. We call this the black sheep phenomenon, but that is too soft of a word for what you actually experience. You walk into a family gathering and you feel the temperature drop. You try to speak, but people talk over you like you aren't even there. You have brilliant ideas at work, but your boss ignores them, only to praise someone else for the exact same idea 5 minutes later. You have spent years asking yourself, is something wrong with me? Am I boring? Do I smell bad? Why am I invisible? There is nothing wrong with you. You are suffering from a locked gate of influence. When this gate is shut by the enemy, your spirit is placed on mute. The dark forces do this intentionally. They know that if people actually listen to you, you would wake them up. You carry the truth. You carry a frequency that shatters lies. So the enemy jams your signal. They make sure that no matter how loud you scream, the people around you, the sleepers, cannot hear the value in your voice. They only hear noise. It is a strategic isolation tactic to keep you lonely, so you will give up. But today, we are using your rank to kick this gate wide open. When the gate of influence unlocks, the mute button is deactivated, and the command center goes live. You will notice the difference immediately. You won't have to shout to be heard. You won't have to perform or act like a clown to get attention. You will simply walk into a room and the atmosphere will shift. People will stop talking. Heads will turn. They won't even know why they are looking at you, but they will feel compelled to respect you. That is not ego. That is spiritual gravity. However, I need to warn you about the side effect of opening this gate. This is where the shadow hierarchy reveals itself. I can feel some of you watching this in silence, nodding your head, finally feeling understood after years of fighting in the dark. You don't have to carry that burden by yourself anymore. Why continue to fight as a lone soldier when a whole battalion of chosen ones is waiting right here for you? Hit that subscribe button. Don't scroll past the only family that actually speaks your language and fights the same war you do. When you were quiet and invisible, people liked you because you were safe. You didn't challenge them. But the moment this gate opens and you start speaking with the authority of a general, the sleepers are going to get uncomfortable. They are going to feel intimidated by your light. They will start saying things like, "You've changed," or "You think you're better than us now," or "You're arrogant." Do not let those words hurt you. Treat them as confirmation. When a sleeper calls you arrogant, it is because your spirit just stood up and cast a shadow over their insecurity. They are reacting to your rank. They liked you better when you were a private because they could boss you around. They don't know how to handle you now that you are a general. Do not apologize for this. Do not dim your light just to make them comfortable in the dark. Let them be uncomfortable. You didn't open this gate to be popular. You opened it to lead. The days of being invisible are over. You have the floor. Speak. The third gate. The gate of restoration. Now we arrive at the third and perhaps the most critical gate for your survival. We have handled the money and the influence, but none of that matters if you are too exhausted to enjoy it. We are standing before the gate of restoration. Let's be honest about how you physically feel right now. You are tired. And I don't mean the kind of tired that a nap can fix. I mean a deep, vibrating exhaustion that sits in your bones. You wake up after 8 hours of sleep, and you still feel drained. You feel like your internal battery is stuck at 10%. You have likely noticed the strange physical symptoms we touched on before, the high-pitched ringing in your ears that comes out of nowhere, the way you jolt awake at exactly 3 a.m. night after night, wide awake while the rest of the world is asleep. You might have even gone to the doctor, and they told you everything is normal. They tell you it's just stress. It isn't just stress. It is spiritual combat fatigue. For years, the enemy has been siphoning your energy. This is what we call the theft of time. Think about the last decade of your life. How many years did you lose to a depression you couldn't explain? How many months did you waste in a toxic relationship that drained the life out of you? How much time did you spend fighting battles that weren't even yours? That time wasn't just lost, it was stolen. The dark forces stole those years to keep you delayed. They knew that if they couldn't destroy you, they would distract you until you ran out of time. But the gate of restoration changes the rules of time. In the military, when a soldier is wounded or captured, there is a specific protocol for their recovery. But for a general, for someone of your rank, it goes a step further. We are not just asking for healing. We are demanding repayment. There's a spiritual law that states when a thief is caught, they must pay back sevenfold. The enemy is the thief, the anxiety, the trauma, the distraction that was the robbery. Now that you have awakened to your rank, you have caught the thief red-handed. When you unlock the gate of restoration, you are triggering the restoration protocol. This doesn't just heal your body, it redeems your time. This is the supernatural ability to accomplish in 1 year what takes normal people 10 years. You are going to see a sudden acceleration in your life. The years the locusts ate are going to be restored. The energy you lost is going to return, but it will come back multiplied. You will find yourself doing work in 2 hours that used to take you 2 days. You will feel a vitality returning to your body that you haven't felt since you were a child. Stop saying, "I'm getting old." Stop saying, "I'm too tired." That is civilian talk. Walk up to this gate and declare that the thief must pay up. You are not just asking to feel better. You are demanding your time back, with interest. The years of struggle were the investment. Now comes the return. Open the gate and take back your strength. Pause right here. If you are still watching this but haven't subscribed yet, you need to ask yourself, what is holding you back? Is it doubt? Is it the enemy trying to convince you that you don't deserve this community? Stop rejecting the hand that is reaching out to pull you up. The universe led you to this specific video for a reason. Do not ignore the sign. Subscribe now and align yourself with the voice that refuses to let you fail. The protocol of entry, walking toward over the fire. We have identified the targets. We know which gates have been blocking your family for generations. We know about the supply line, the influence, and the restoration. But knowledge isn't power until you act on it. You can stand outside a gate with a key in your hand for 50 years and still freeze to death. You have to put the key in the lock. You have to turn it. You have to walk through. People always ask me, how do I actually do this? Is there a specific prayer? Is there a ritual? They are looking for a magic spell, but the protocol of entry is not a spell. It is a posture. It is about how you carry your spirit when you face the blockade. I want you to visualize the specific thing that is stopping you right now. Close your eyes if you have to. See it clearly. Is it a mountain of debt that feels impossible to climb? Is it a medical report that scares you? Is it an empty house that reminds you how alone you are? In the past, when you looked at this problem, you felt small. You felt like a victim trying to sneak past a giant. You tiptoed around your problems, hoping they wouldn't notice you. You tried to manage the debt or cope with the loneliness. That ends today. A general does not sneak into a base. A general does not climb to the bathroom window in the middle of the night. That is what thieves do. That is what scavengers do. A general walks through the front gate at high noon. I want you to visualize yourself walking straight toward that problem. You are not hunching your shoulders. You are not looking down at your feet. You are wearing your spiritual armor, and your rank is visible on your chest. As you approach the gate, you will see the guards. These are the demonic resistances, the doubt, the fear, the negative voices that have bullied you for years. They are standing there, armed and angry. They look terrifying. Here is the secret. They are going to glare at you. They are going to hate that you are there. They might even growl, but they cannot touch you, because under the laws of the spiritual hierarchy, a lower-ranking entity cannot touch a higher-ranking officer. They hate you, but they must respect the rank. As you walk toward that gate, watch them step aside. Watch them salute, not because they like you, but because they have no choice. You are walking through the fire, and you are not going to smell like smoke. This is the command of entry. You are no longer asking for the blockade to be removed. You are notifying the enemy that you are coming through. You are occupying the territory. We need to make this real right now. We need to physically manifest this breach. I need you to engage your will and your fingers. Do not just watch this happen. Make it happen. Go to the comments section below and type these exact words. I command entry. Don't type I hope I get in. Don't type please let me in. Type I command entry. Let the universe know you are moving, and let the enemy know that the general has arrived at the gate. Do it now. Breach the line, the alarm system. Why Chaos is confirmation. You have just visualized the breach. You have typed the command. You have stepped through the gate. You probably feel a surge of power right now, a sense of relief that things are finally changing. But I need to prepare you for what happens next. I need to be very honest about what your next 24 to 48 hours are going to look like. Because if I don't, you might panic and lose the ground you just took. You might think that because you open the gate of blessing, everything is going to instantly become peaceful. You expect birds to sing and money to fall from the sky immediately. Usually the exact opposite happens first. Tomorrow morning, you might wake up and chaos will erupt. You go to start your car and the battery is dead. You walk into the kitchen and your spouse starts an argument over something completely small, like a dirty spoon. You sit down to work and your computer crashes. Or maybe a sudden wave of heavy anxiety hits your chest for no logical reason. In the past, you would have looked at this chaos and thought, oh no, I did something wrong. I tried to be powerful, and now the universe is punishing me. I should have just stayed quiet. You would get scared, turn around and run back out of the gate to the safety of your old, broken life. Do not do that. You need to understand the military logic of a breach. Imagine a special forces team cutting through the fence of a high-security enemy base. As soon as they cross that line, what happens? The silent alarm trips. The red lights start flashing. The sirens scream. The enemy scrambles every guard they have to the location of the breach. Does the siren mean the soldiers failed? No. The siren means they succeeded. It means they are inside. The enemy only makes noise when their territory has been compromised. If you experience chaos tomorrow, it is not a sign that you are rejected. It is the alarm system going off. It is the ultimate confirmation that you have successfully walked through an ancient gate that the enemy desperately wanted to keep locked. The dark forces are panicking. They see you standing in the gate of provision, or the gate of influence, and they are throwing everything they have at you to make you retreat. They are trying to create enough noise and distraction to scare you back into the hallway. So when the argument starts, or the tire goes flat, or the anxiety rises, I want you to do something different. Do not engage with the chaos. Do not scream back. Do not cry. Stand your ground. Take a deep breath and smile. Say to yourself, I hear the alarm. That means I'm in. This turbulence is temporary. It is just the dust settling from the door slamming open. Do not let a little bit of noise scare you out of your destiny. You are a general now, and generals do not run when the sirens go off. They dig in. Commission. The general's orders. We are at the end of this briefing. You have the codes, you have the rank, you have visualized the breach and stepped through the fire. Now I have one final set of orders for you. This is where we talk about how you actually live this out, starting tomorrow morning. The time for theory is over. You need to change how you operate in the physical world. First, stop apologizing for your existence. For too long, you have walked through life saying, "I'm sorry for taking up space." You apologize when you speak your mind. You apologize when you say no to a favor you don't want to do. You shrink yourself to make others comfortable. That stops immediately. A general does not apologize for giving an order. A general does not explain their strategy to a private. From now on, stop explaining yourself to people who do not have security clearance. If you have a big dream or a new idea, keep it classified. When you tell your big vision to a sleeper or a jealous family member, you are handing sensitive intel to the enemy. They will use it to discourage you. Keep your mouth shut and let your results speak for you. Second, I want you to walk with the heavy step of authority. When you walk into your job or the grocery store tomorrow, walk like you own the ground beneath your feet. Don't rush, don't look down. Walk with a rhythm that says, "I am here on assignment." The spiritual realm feels the weight of your step. When you walk heavy, the obstacles move out of your way. Finally, understand your responsibility. You are now the gatekeeper. You didn't just open this ancient gate for yourself. You opened it for your bloodline. You broke the lock so your children don't have to fight the same poverty you fought. You cleared the path so your family doesn't have to deal with the same trauma you dealt with. You are holding the door open for everyone coming after you. If you get scared and run away now, the gate slams shut on them too. You cannot afford to quit. The generations after you are counting on you to hold the line. You have done the work. You have claimed the rank. Now, we need to make this permanent. We need to lock this gate in the open position so no enemy can ever shut it again. I want you to make one final move. If you are accepting this commission, if you are ready to be the general of your life and the gatekeeper for your family, I need you to seal the gate. Before you go, General, realize this. The fact that you made it to the very end of this message is a massive confirmation. Most people clicked off 10 minutes ago because they couldn't handle the truth. But you are still here. Your spirit needed this food. Don't walk away from the table without securing your seat. It costs you nothing to subscribe, but walking away might cost you your next breakthrough. Join the family. Your next set of orders is waiting in the next video. Lock it in. The gate is open. The blessings are flowing. The enemy is defeated, dismissed.